Yeah. Hi guys.
Hey y'all, it's the Mad Moody's again.
Wait a minute. You know how I have a haircut?
Mm-hmm.
You know how bad your need of a haircut is showing in this video?
Can we end the stream?
Look!
We're live.
Look! I know we're live. It
know.
can't be helped.
I know.
But your hair's sticking out.
There. That better? Okay.
Hey, my poor hubby wasn't feeling good earlier today. We didn't even make it to church, or he didn't.
Yeah.
But he's feeling a bit better. But if he has to duck out,
Forgive me.
please understand. Because he's still not feeling 100%.
True. Better than I was, though.
A lot better than you were this morning.
Amen.
I missed you at church this morning.
I missed them too.
You were so excited. Hey, sorry. We kind of digressed.
She got distracted. See, she got distracted again.
Yeah, you can see he's feeling better. Yeah. Wait a minute. I can't even look at the camera.
I know.
I want to look at the screen.
That's
Don't
funny.
laugh at me.
I do the same thing.
Mm.
All right, okay. Guys. Like we said, welcome back to the Mad Moody's. I'm Nathaniel. This is Makesta. And her hair looks really good. She got it cut, what, a couple weeks ago now?
Yeah, a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. But this month, it's awareness for a lot of different things. I know breast cancer, of course, and that affects us with my aunt had passed away of breast cancer. And then I have another aunt that had went through it and is doing great. But it's also Spina Bifida Awareness Month. And as we've said many times, and you can see by our page that I have Spina Bifida. But we wanted to kind of do a little something each week concerning all these things.
Because we didn't get a chance to last week because you weren't feeling well last week either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Makesta here has done a lot of research. And
it wasn't hard.
I'll let her read everything off because I'm a slow reader and she does a lot better than I do. And I'd much rather hear her talk than me.
Okay. First off, Spina Bifida, this definition, is a birth defect that occurs when the spine and spinal cord don't form properly. It's basically, with Nathaniel, it is at
the very base.
Base of your spine, yeah. Right above his backside. It's a honey. Yeah. It's a.
I was gonna say tailbone. It is right above my tailbone.
Okay, it's a type of neural tube defect. The neural tube is a structure in a developing embryo that eventually becomes the baby's brain, spinal cord, and tissues. Typically, the neural tube forms early in pregnancy, closes by the 28th day after conception. Spina Bifida babies, they don't. They don't close, or they don't close properly.
It's often called open spine. And she might have already had this down, but
no, I haven't.
I have to interject every once in a while.
Well, it is about you, by the way. Spina Bifida can range from mild to severe, and usually the early treatment for it involves surgery. But that doesn't always complete it. Now, the types of Spina Bifida are Spina Bifida.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Back when I had it, it was a lot less options for surgery. But now they actually have a surgery that they do in the womb, right?
Yeah.
They can actually partially take the baby out, I guess, what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
And fix their spine and then put them back in. And I don't know how cool. Far along they have to be, but it is something that's successful. I've known of people that, or heard of people that has had that done and doing great.
Okay, so the first one is the mildest one. It's Spina Bifida occulta. It's the mildest and the most common. We know at least one. Two. We know one person personally, and another one that we know that someone else told us about.
Mm-hmm.
In North Carolina. And it's mildest. Most people don't even know they have it. They might suffer for some backaches. That's about it. Yeah. And it really doesn't. You really don't know it.
My brother-in-law, me and him went to school together for from 6th grade, I guess, till we graduated, And then after that, he married my youngest sister. But as long as I had known him, which has been 20-something years now anyways, I did not know he had spina bifida until after him and my sister got married. And all through school, I would have never guessed it. It was the one that she just described or just said.
All right, and the next one is myelomeniingocele, which is the most severe type, which is what Nathaniel has.
What about there were 3.
Well, it's
Sorry.
the order it has it in.
Okay.
It's the most severe. It's open in along several of the vertebrae, and a Chiari malformation type 2. It's I'm hoping. Wait, I got a brain in my head.
Well, we can't restart.
Well, this is in the middle and lower back. I missed a page.
Okay.
The membranes and the spinal nerves poke through like he had a little
There's a little sack about that big
that someone almost cut off because they didn't know any better.
They didn't know
that
it
was.
was. Yeah, they didn't know it was my spine.
What tie string about it will fall off?
Yeah.
That's besides the point. And it usually exposing the nerves and the tissues and makes them prone to life-threatening infection and may cause paralysis and bladder and bowel dysfunction. All right, now my meningocele. Fun fact is, I knew about. No, my fun. I knew more about spina bifida before I married him than he did.
Yeah.
Because I knew I was going to marry him anyway, but I need to know what he had and as many details as I can to know what problems he might have and how to help him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much help I've been.
A lot.
I just did that just so you could say that.
Mm-hmm. She's just wanting to be praised, huh?
I know. It prays all the time, even when I don't deserve it. All right, so meningocele. It's a rare type, and it's characterized by a sac of spinal fluid bulging through the opening of the spine. No nerves are affected, and the spinal cord isn't in the fluid sac. They might have some minor problems like bladder and bowel. Well, the causes, going into the causes, they're not certain what causes spina bifida.
Before you go in, actually go ahead and read that, and then I'll say something.
Okay. Doctors aren't certain what causes spina bifida. It's thought to result from a combination of genetic, nutritional, and environmental risk factors, such as family history of neural tube defects and folate vitamin B9 deficiency.
Mm-hmm. Interesting fact. When they were doing the study to figure that out, me and my mother were actually part of that study. I was going to, I don't know if I ever told you, did I?
Mm-mm.
I was going to the Shriners at the time, and they approached me and my mother about participating in it. I believe they had to draw some blood from Mom, probably from me as well, and that's actually how they found out that what was causing mine. What was the
folate vitamin B9 deficiency?
Yeah, that's what, and that actually runs in my family. They was concerned about my sister possibly having the same thing, but she's got 2 very healthy kids that show no issues of spina bifida.
Healthy kids. Healthy.
Yep.
Okay. There's
rambunctious too.
Yeah.
That's the best kind.
Both of them feisty.
Mm-hmm.
It's and there's some complications, and it might seem overwhelming, but not all kids have these complications. And it's snowflake disease.
Yeah.
Snowflake disorder. Because not every, even if it's in the exact same place on the spine, no one person with spina bifida has the same experience. Mm-hmm. It's all different.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There are some complications. Now, if you might be pregnant with a child that's going to have spina bifida or might have spina bifida, sometimes doctors are wrong. Don't be scared by these facts, because I'm going to go into the myths that will help. Okay, your child might have walking mobility problems, the nerves not working properly, and the weakness of the muscles.
Except my upper body is pretty strong.
And then the brainstem. The brainstem is one of the things that causes the problem.
I thought you was calling me dumb.
Wait a minute. Look, I confused myself. Wait a minute. Oh, okay.
Sorry.
I kind of got my papers mixed up.
Sorry.
Look.
We'll try to get more prepared next time.
Okay, there it is. Prepared. You didn't prepare nothing. Whether a child can walk typically depends on what the defect is, its size, and the care received before and after birth. Who was it?
Nurse.
Children with myelin can have a variety of problems in the legs and spine because of weak muscles in the back, legs and back. Depends on the location. Those are orthopedic complications. Curved spine. Another orthopedic is abnormal growth, bone and joint deformities, and muscle contractures. Bowel and bladder problems. That gets a little complicated, a little messy sometimes. But we don't. Well, we want to be honest. That is part of it.
It is.
That is part of it. But he's very
in
a lot of ways, he's very self-sufficient. He's gotten a bit lazy since we've been married. But that's beside the point. The nerves
since we've been married.
Nerves that supply them or kind of don't work properly. It's because the nerves that work on the bladder and the bowels, understandably, it comes from the lowest part of the lowest level of the spinal cord. Accumulation of fluid in the brain, hydrocephalus. Most kids with myelin-meningocele, Spina Bifida myelin-meningocele, have hydrocephalus. Almost all of them. And Nathaniel is, as you can see, he's still got a big head. He's born with a big head.
But I'm also very smart.
And he's going to have a big head. There's a lot of fluid in the brain. Shunt malfunction. Now, he has a shunt. He's had very little malfunctions with his shunt.
I have actually had none.
Well, there was, other than the growth spurt, which it seemed like he only had one growth spurt.
Yeah. The tube had actually fell out, come undone from the hardware. The hardware never messed up. All they had to do is go back in, reconnect the tube, and make it longer.
The shunt malfunction, sometimes the shunt stop working or become infected. And it's sometimes they can have issues with breathing and swallowing. He really doesn't. That's not something that you had an issue with. Infections in tissue surrounding the brain, meningitis, you've not really had that.
Anytime I have trouble breathing, it has nothing to do with my spina bifida and everything to do with me being fat.
Wait a minute. I thought you were talking about your wife taking your breath away.
Oh, you do that too.
Oh, great. Thank you.
She does.
Tethered spinal cord. Now, was your gotten tethered, or was that somebody else we know of? There's this boy that we follow. Yeah. His gets tethered.
Yeah, I know we're a small channel, but if you want people that can really go in depth, look up Defying the Odds.
Defying Odds,
Roman's Journey.
Yeah.
That kid's awesome.
He's an awesome little boy. Gonna be a big boy now.
I know.
Spinal cord's less able to grow as the child grows, and it gets tethered. And it binds it spinal nerve spine to the scar. Loss of muscle function. Sleep disordered breathing. He doesn't really have any of that. Like I said, not all kids get these. Not all people have these with spina bifida. A lot of them, particularly myelin-meningocele, people may have sleep apnea or other sleep disorders.
In case you forgot to start the thing.
I did not.
I try to get her back.
I did not.
It to me.
Skin problems. If somebody doesn't keep an eye on wounds and sores, they can come very, very badly infected. I mean, it doesn't happen. You have not had too many sores, wounds, but
mostly just that one.
Yeah, you really need to be careful. Actually, anybody with any state of health need to be careful with any wounds they may have.
For a minute, I was about to ask if you was talking to me or them.
Both. They might get wounds because they can't feel when he gets a blister or a sore in some parts of his body. And latex allergy. Children with spina bifida have a higher risk of latex allergy. He does.
I'm very allergic to latex.
It can cause rash, sneezing, itching, or anaphylactic shock, anaphylaxis.
They've always put me on latex precaution, but I learned the hard way that I am allergic to latex. Back when I was able to work, I went to clean the restrooms. I worked at a convenience store. And not thinking, I just grabbed the gloves that was there, did not realize that they were latex. By the time I got done and started ringing somebody up, I looked down, and from about here, which that's where the gloves went up to, all the way down was broke out. I mean, I'm talking about within minutes.
Okay. Other complications. People can get UTIs, GI disorders, and depression, and may develop learning disorders. Now, with such as problem paying attention, difficulty learning reading and math. You didn't really have any learning disorders. Now you read slower.
Yeah, I'm a slow reader.
But your math skills are normal.
Except algebra. I hate algebra.
Well, I hate algebra too, so that has nothing to do with it.
The only reason I'm fast is my little brother. He's so smart. He's doing my work for me.
Yeah, I'm glad you're old enough to tell on yourself with that.
Yeah, me too.
But yeah, he really didn't have any learning disorders. He's just a slow reader, and some people are just slow readers. So it's not necessarily from the spina bifida. But you did really good in school.
I did. Graduated 3.25 GPA, which is graduating with honors.
Okay.
The average, I think.
We've got some myths. Spina bifida can only be died. And then we got the first things we got from the Mayo Clinic, from their site. And now the myths are from the Spina Bifida Resource Center. Spina bifida can only be diagnosed at birth. No, sometimes they can they're diagnosed before birth using ultrasound. And spina bifida occulta is not one because it can go completely unnoticed. People with spina bifida, myth 2, people who have spina bifida cannot have other issues or conditions. Yeah. Let's see. This is just extra stuff.
Myth 3.
There are a number of different conditions that people with spina bifida can have. Like, for example, that's what William just said was that. I don't know why they added that in there because it's part of that spina bifida meningocele. Miscarriage and tardive dyskinesis, in which the condition in which the muscles controlling speech are abnormal. No, you talk just fine. People with...
I used to not. I had dead speech.
Well, my brother Tyler did.
So did Chastity.
Quite a few people. What is it? My socks?
And my furry for my fox.
Okay.
He had his 2 front teeth out and couldn't talk plain.
See, this is why our videos get so long. We kind of get off topic.
Yeah.
Okay, people with spina bifida. People with spina bifida are always mentally impaired. Now, he acts like a dummy sometimes, but he's not mental. I keep looking at the wrong thing. I need to stop. I'm like, just look at the camera. He's not mentally impaired. He's just kind of dumb sometimes. But that has nothing to do with spina bifida and all to do with being a man. We know that. What in the world? Oh, Emperor Alert. Well, that's just sad.
Yeah.
I always hate those. Those are scary.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let's see. Most of them, sometimes a lot of them do have a level of cognitive impairment, but that doesn't mean their mental capacity is completely lost. They have milder degrees of mental impairment than people without the condition. So when you do have issues, it's milder than people without the condition, which is weird, but good.
Yeah.
They have some of them have a small percentage have severe mental disabilities, but most of them just live a normal, emotional, cognitive life.
Mm-hmm.
They can have a very normal life. The IQ, like I said, sometimes he's a dummy, but it's basically pretty close to normal for people with spina bifida. We've known a few people in of them that were just, their minds were just as sharp as anybody's.
Yep.
So basically their IQs are average. Close to 90% have an IQ of over 80, which is, I think, average. Children with spina bifida, that's myth 4, can't ever have a good life. That is very wrong.
Yep, that's false.
That is definitely definitely a myth.
Now, will the child go through some things? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we all do,
but people without spina bifida goes through stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You never know what's going to happen. Just because they have spina bifida doesn't mean they're not going to live a good life.
I know I'm living a great life.
I mean, he has issues, but he's happy.
I'm alive.
He's loved.
I have a beautiful wife.
He's happy. He's loved.
Mm-hmm.
He's a man of God, a preacher. He's just, if he thinks about it, sometimes it gets depressing, but when he thinks about it, he really does have a good life.
I do.
It may not be the best life, but I'm the best wife for him.
You are the best.
Mm. They don't have any better.
No, I do.
They don't have any better or worse life than anybody else.
Yeah.
They're just as likely to have a good life. Now, they are limited sometimes in what they can do, but a lot of times they find ways around it. Like, didn't you play basketball sometime when you were a kid?
Oh, yeah. I'd get out there, especially with my brother and our friends. We'd play basketball, football, baseball, kickball. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, a lot of kids born with spina bifida never suffer any symptoms or problems. Most people, they don't. Most people who do experience symptoms are able to walk and live relatively normal lives. And he comes up, and they grow up to be independent adults. His independent kind of varies.
Yeah.
Because he has no balance.
That's true.
Or very little. Just because they're spina bifida doesn't mean they have a future of pain and suffering. This last one. Not last one. People with spina bifida will not be able to date and get married. Wait a minute. Well, my finger got too fat for the ring, and his finger got too skinny for the ring, and it fell off. Or we'd be showing you our rings to show that people with spina bifida can get married and can date, can get married.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not forbidden from getting married. They love like everybody else.
Love my wife.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. This one's almost kind of funny. The myth 6, the level of the opening lesion, it's not really a lesion, will determine how smart they are. No, it's not even close. There's no basis of science. Because it doesn't matter. I'm not done yet.
Sorry.
It doesn't matter where it is, because this is what controls the smartness of it with his big old head. And the opening is not a lesion.
Mm-mm.
is used to describe a hole or rupture in the bone. Infants born with spina bifida do not survive longer or are stillborn.
I'm 37.
Mm-mm. The chances that a fetus with spina bifida will be stillborn is 5% or less. And treatment continues to improve, so it's getting better.
Yep. I'm 37. We did just have a dear friend of mine, well, family really, that has recently passed away. Last year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But she's in her 50s.
Yeah.
And she never even had the surgery that I had.
Yeah.
So her spine was just like it was when she was born.
Yeah.
And she lived for 50-something years.
Which cancels out the next myth. Spina bifida claims patients at a young age.
Not always.
No, not
Very
always.
rarely.
Life expectancy is kind of challenging, but it varies. There's been some people that live into their 70s, 80s. The oldest person reported as of October 2020 was 90 years old.
Oh, wow.
So, those born between 1975 and 1979 were studied as recently as 2001 and survived at ages between 20 and 25.
Mm-hmm.
And the spinal cord grows with you, so there's changes in the body. Maturation. Basically, most evidence suggests that most children diagnosed with spina bifida will be living to early adulthood, and some live even longer, like 70s, 80s, 90s, and 50s in our friend's case.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think her death was entirely caused by the spina bifida. Complications from it.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, 70s, 80s, 90s, so you can have a long life and just live just as well as anybody because they are doing more and more to help people with spina bifida, even in the womb with the fetal surgery.
Yeah.
Okay. Spina bifida defect covered by a sac indicates a worse prognosis for the infant. No, it doesn't.
That's what I had.
It starts where the spinal cord, where this opening starts. The lemon sign indicates the baby will have a lemon-shaped head. Okay, that was just weird. Okay.
I've never heard that one.
That's what it means. That just makes no sense. We're trying to keep it under 30 minutes. Spina bifida is hereditary. If you will give so many asides and comments. Spina bifida has no clear pattern of being hereditary. It is sporadic. It affects 1 out of 2,000 every 2,000 births, and it's random. Completely. And I'm not looking at the camera. It's completely random. And just because you have spina bifida don't mean your child can have spina bifida. Spina bifida babies look normal at birth. That's another myth. You'll see the abnormalities when they, unless it's that spina bifida occulta. Because you can see the scar on his back.
Mm-hmm.
And if it can also show signs later. Now, if there's no visible signs at birth, they often show subtle signs later on.
Sorry. Next.
Spina bifida is contagious. That shouldn't even be a myth. That's just stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Women with spina bifida cannot get pregnant. We're on a spina bifida group, and that is very untrue because some of those ladies have had babies.
Mm-hmm.
Healthy babies.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Because it doesn't affect their fertility. All right. Let me tell you. See, that was the extra papers that I'll print out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, like this, had a couple of the people. Now, there was I'm going to go into the oldest. Go into some of these ones that lived a long time, and some of them are still alive as of 2020. And let me tell you what some of the people have managed to do. Michael J. Brennan, 70 years old as of 2020. He was a high school teacher, registered nurse, and a senior lecturer. Janice Rovick, 78 as of probably 78 as of October 2020. This is from 2020. Adina Realty, she was a realtor. Ellen Dibner, 79 as of October 2020. Lab technician and served on the board of directors of the National Spina Bifida Association Spina Bifida Advocate. Will Watley, 81, as he died in February 2011. A co-founder of Huntsville Aviation in Phoenix, which provides jobs for people with disabilities.
That's cool.
Jerry Brutag, sports writer, 82. He would like to be 82. Sports writer, sports editor, and sports historian.
Cool.
You need to look into him. That would be so cool.
Yeah.
Bob Bosberg, 82 as of 2013. When he passed, sports editor and later managing editor of Newcastle News. Mm-hmm. And Albert DeGreve, 90 years old as of 2013. You don't hear anything about him after that. Was from Belgium, and he was a tailor.
And the most famous person that I know of that had spina bifida, he didn't live to an old age, but he passed away not directly from spina bifida. But Hank Williams Sr., I did not know that he had the spina bifida occult. How do you say that?
Occulta.
Yeah, that one. And I never knew it. I'm a huge Hank Williams fan, and didn't know till what, a couple of years ago.
Mm-mm.
But seriously, that is really cool. So guys, just think about the life that a person with spina bifida lives.
Yeah.
I may never accomplish some of the things that they've done that she read off, but I've had an amazing life.
And not to condemn anybody who did this, but 68% of unborn babies that were diagnosed with spina bifida were aborted. And that's not me judging anybody who's not be scared that their child would be something wrong and they want to do they don't want them to suffer. But you never know what's going to happen, what life your child might have.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, I'm not judging anybody. I can understand fear. Fear of the unknown and fear that you wouldn't want your child to suffer. But the spina bifida is not a death sentence.
No.
And that's one of the reasons why there's Spina Bifida Awareness Month, so people can learn more about it. Well, I wanted to keep it under 30 minutes. It's at 33. But we appreciate you watching, and I hope, well, nobody's watched yet. I know live streams, you can't always have somebody watching it first. We just wanted to try to do our first live stream on our new computer.
Mm-hmm.
We were wanting to get a desktop so we can do more with our channel. Mm-hmm. And we appreciate you watching. We hope you enjoyed and learned something.
Like and subscribe and share. Maybe it'll get somebody that has spina bifida and it'll be a help to them.
Or someone who's expecting a child with spina bifida.
That's right.
All right. Bye.
Bye, guys.